Well, hello, folks. Today, I want to talk about the important things you might be missing. Now, why would I want to talk about this? Why do I need to speak about this, about important things you're missing? Well, because there's a lot of things that we could be doing, especially if you are focused on one of the following things. First of all, if you're focused on the ongoing drama of stock music. I mean, this is something that um, you know a lot of people are dealing with. We're not gonna talk about this today. I'm not talking about stock music today, but stock music libraries change constantly. Payout changes happen on a monthly basis. There is daily scuttlebutt. Yes, I said scuttlebutt, and I'm not sorry, but on our Discord about who is paying what, about which library is closing, about who can't get in a library, about it's just a never-ending soap opera of talk about stock. Now, why do we talk about it? Well, it's a passive income for our music, right? So we want to keep doing it. And by the way, I have an ebook on it, all about stock music. We'll talk about that in a minute. And if you're not in stock music, or maybe you're in stock music, but you're also in sync licensing, a long suffering sync licensing career that you're dealing with. And, it's hard. It's not easy to deal with sync licensing. I just realized you guys really aren't seeing my things. Hopefully you are still hearing me and everything. Yeah, scuttlebutt, old military jargon for sure. But I just realized that you guys aren't seeing my lovely things I'm making here. And I think it's because I clicked in the wrong place. So let me just click on that again. But having a sync licensing career is something that just takes it out of you. I mean, it's a long game. You got to build a catalog. You got to contact libraries. You got to sign with libraries. You got to get in the library. I mean, you could sign with a library, but actually getting your music in the library is the hard part. Then you got to wait for placements to happen. And then after those placements happen, you have to wait even longer for payments, either upfronts or back-end payments. But it could still be a good income and a really good stream of income. And so that's why we do it. You're saying there's a chance I can make big income with sync licensing. So that is why we deal with it. But it can be an all-consuming thing. Production music, cues, whatever you want to call it. It can be an all-consuming thing that people like my friend Dave have channels only, and Jesse only on sync licensing and production music and cues. I'm writing an ebook about that right now as well. So many people who watch this channel are dealing with both of these things or one of these things. I'm in both of them myself. But you and I might just be missing some things. But before we get into any of that nonsense, I want to talk about some things that I have for you for free. And you know what these are if you follow me. If you don't follow me, you just kind of found this video and you wanted to find out what important things you are missing. I want to let you know about some free things I find out what important things you are missing. I want to let you know about some free things I have. I have the 50 ways to make music income, which is a free ebook that might just help you in a lot of ways and find out things that you need to do. We're not going to talk about the stock market yet. 50 ways to make music income. Nice, easy read PDF. And you can go to this place right here, makemusicincome.com/free, and get that free ebook. I also have a book about how to upload to Pond 5. I also have a paper, a strange paper that I wrote in. Some of you have read it already. It was a book that I wrote in my final month or so of my master's, but it's called The Ubiquitous Style, Form, and Instrumentation of Corporate Stock Music. It is a research paper, folks, so it's not like a magazine article. But again, you can find that also at makemusicincome.com/free. Now, I also, before we get started, I want to talk about the stock market. Uh, my ebook that I've written, and I think it's still a very valid ebook for anyone trying to get into stock music licensing. And basically, it is called The Stock Market: Where, Why, and How to Submit Your Music, especially submit your music to stock music licensing. And you'll find I've got like a description of the book and a description of all the chapters, and right here at makemusicincome.com/stock market. All right. Well, that is enough. Thanks so much for joining me today. Let's see if anyone else has joined the chat. We're might be experiencing some issues because it says my connection is unstable. But anyway, everybody, thanks for being here today. And Hypnosis says it's got to be tough nowadays to make any scratch from original music. Seems like everyone and his brother has a home studio. Yeah, not just that, but we just went through this time with COVID where everybody was stuck at home. And so everybody jumped into stock music, everybody jumped into licensing. And so the room is rather full. But if you've heard any conversations about this stuff, I think the room is going to empty out eventually as people go back to some of the other things we're going to talk about today that aren't just the kinds of things that that we talk about on a normal basis. So let's get into this a little bit. Oh, one last announcement I want to make. Hello Composers is back. We try to stream on Tuesday. Some of you were there. Thanks for being there. If you were there, you're the only ones who really got to see what I was talking about, because I just was not happy with the sound quality of that one. So I kind of took that down, but I've reshot it and I'll be putting that video up probably this weekend. But yeah, join me Tuesdays at 11 right here. Actually, not here, actually on the Hello Composer site. And make sure you go to hellocomposers.com to sign up for that site. And we're going to be talking composing things, how we compose, why we compose, but especially talking about compositional process, talking about a certain key, where do you go from there, and things like that, where maybe you are new to all this stuff, trying to be a composer. Maybe people are trying to get up and running, like they were just talking about in the chat about composing. And so what this channel is all about, and I hope you will join me. All right. So enough about stock music, enough about sync music, enough about Hello Composers and free stuff. Let's get to the meat of what I want to talk about today. So first, I just want to talk about some of the things that we might be missing because we're so focused on the kinds of music that we're doing. We're focused on stock music. And like I said, it can be a big soap opera. Focused on sync music. But some of the things we're not focused on are the kind of things that I'm making videos about on my channel right now. And I will continue to do it because I think that it's important. And I know that these are things that can make us music income because I make music income doing them now. So first of all, the first one I want to talk about today is publishing. I think publishing is something that it's just not something everybody talks about enough. I want to make sure the stuff is coming up. I don't see my stuff coming up here. So let's see. Oh, there it is. Okay. It was up. So there's a little bit of a delay here, but I just did a video about publishing, and you can see it in my videos. It's the last video I put out on Monday, and I'm just a little upset that it's not getting a lot more views, but I think it's going to be kind of a long tail type video because people will find it when they're looking for music publishing, and I still might massage the title a little bit and stuff like that. But I really had a long time to talk with a music publisher in Nashville. And this really was something that helped us really dive into some things that some people just didn't know about. Arco, you even said that you learned some things about certain kinds of music, and I think that was really good. I mean, yeah, you can find it at musicincome.com or youtube.com/make music income. I'll put the link down below later. I don't have it down there right now, but it's just Monday's video. You should take a look. Get yourself a nice warm beverage because it's a little bit of a conversation. It's not an hour-long video, but it is about 30 minutes or so. And you can skip around with the timestamps, but we talk about things like PROs. I know a lot of people know about PROs, about BMI, ASCAP, things like that. But we do talk about something a lot of people don't know about, which is CSAC, and how CSAC is invite only, and how you get invited to that and stuff like that. So a little bit of secret sauce in that conversation when we talk about PROs. But the cool thing about when I was talking to this publisher was we were talking about from the publisher's point of view, not from like your point of view, but from the publisher's point of view, where he is telling you how they work with PROs and why PROs are so important to them. And so to me, I thought that was a really good conversation about PROs and performance rights organizations, and basically really getting into the nitty-gritty of performance royalties and where they come from. We also talked a lot about performance, actual performing, like outperforming. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Performing and royalties that come to BMI or whatever your PRO is from performing, and classical music and how that figures into that, and how I made some really, there's really real world examples in this video about publishing things we're talking about. Also, the MLC, the Mechanical Licensing Collective. Sorry, I always forget that last word. But they collect mechanical royalties from your streaming, and so these are things that we need to be talking about, that we need to be focusing on, and making sure what we have all our publishing ducks in a row, that we are registered with Sound Exchange. And that's another one that you may or may not have heard of or be with. And I think that's an important one to be with, is Sound Exchange. Content IDs. I know this is going to be a little controversial. Some people are going to be really cool with Content ID and that whole thing. I believe it's the PRO of YouTube. It's the way that you get anything that's not already claimed or paid for or licensed, you're going to get licensed. And I know that I'm getting $70+ a month right now just from one video alone. I have a lot of videos being tracked by Identify, but that is becoming another income stream for me monthly with my stock stuff. I kind of put it in the stock world. It's probably really more of a royalty from publishing, but yeah, I'm seeing that is something that's adding to my bottom line every month. The other thing that's adding to my bottom line every month is sheet music. I'm and getting sales every week on that. I just put sheet music up there, and I'm just keep trying to load them up. Sheet music is almost like another stock music. It's another way to get the music that you make out there. So that is publishing, and I think it's again, look at our publishing video. I will try to remember to put it right up here in the corner when I'm able to edit this video. If not, it will definitely be down below once I finish editing this video, because it's one of my most recent videos, and it may be there now. I can't remember if I put recent videos down there, but my talk with Trevor Mathieson from Curb Entertainment in publishing, and we really went over everything. So make sure that you're checking out everything in publishing, that you're checking every box and getting in PROs, getting in MLC, getting in Sound Exchange, getting in Content ID. Maybe you want to get into sheet music and get your music published in that way. But another thing we talk about in that video, I'm not going to talk about it here, but it's copyright, when you should copyright things, what copyright means, and all that kind of stuff. So if you have any kind of question about copyright, you want to check out that publishing video. All right, let's see what's happening in the chat with everybody. Anybody interested in this? A lot of stuff going on here. Oh, sorry, just refresh. Okay, good. So yeah, PROs are a thing. Just looking down through the things here, no questions. video messed up. Hope everything is okay with this. Again, I am seeing an unstable connection thing, but I checked it as best I could. So hopefully it's working out pretty good. Hypnosis says, what number of subs would a music channel on YouTube have to be at to worry about a little income? Okay, so this is where people get really confused with the whole thing about content ID and how it makes you money. People seem to think if they make a YouTube channel and put their music on it, their music, like you make a YouTube channel and put your music on, that you're going to get money from content ID. That is possible, I guess. I have some of my videos being tracked there, but they don't bring much money. What brings me good money is the fact that I am have other people who have downloaded my songs and are putting them on their channels, and they are not monetizing it, and so I am getting that money. And those videos have hundreds of thousands of views, almost 1 million in one. Yeah, sorry everybody if you're getting choppy video today. I don't really know what to do, and I'm not going to restart the stream because we know how that goes. So yeah. Anyway, let me move on with this. And again, sorry if the stream is a little choppy today. I'm not sure what to do about that, other than everything seems to be copacetic on my end, Wi-Fi wise. But we're just going to keep rolling through this live here, and then we'll take more questions. Let's talk about distribution. You know, this is one of the things that I think people tend to forget about because they think I'm working in stock music and my goal is either content ID or something else. And so I tell people that it's the distribution to Spotify and DSPs. You know, that can be an extra, a whole nother income stream for you, especially if you've got stuff that you are putting out and telling people about, and you're an artist as well. Stevie B is seeing you just saw a great big check from DistroKid because of what's happening on Artlist. So we're starting to see that some of these channels are affecting people's Spotify and Apple Music plays and things like that. So important to get your stuff, get registered with DistroKid, get registered with CD Baby, whichever one you want to, other distributors or aggregators, and get your stuff on these platforms, because Spotify is an important place to be. And I believe after YouTube, Spotify is the most important place to be. So yeah, Hypnosis, I really think that all of this stuff is very important. I think you got to do everything. You know how I feel about this. Everything has to happen. And so I just do it all. And that's really what this video is about, you know, publishing and or distribution. We're going to get some other things that can really bring income besides just stock music, besides just the normal kinds of things that you see going on. Yeah, agreed. DistroKid is a pretty good place. You know, I have some likes and dislikes about DistroKid. I'll probably do a review of them sometime soon. I kind of talked about them a little bit. My biggest downsides with DistroKid is that they make you pay for something I think is very important, which is Shazam. And one thing I did early with DistroKid is that I put all my music up there and started doing the yearly add-ons, which now just I don't do anymore, because to get into Shazam or to get into some of the other things, the YouTube content ID, which I don't think you should have a DistroKid or somebody like that do your content ID. That's a whole nother video. But yeah, I really think that it's important to get your music out to Spotify, because that is a great way to show off music besides YouTube. So, and that's the next thing on my list is YouTube and distribution. A lot of people don't think of YouTube as a way to distribute your music, but I know some people watching this are putting their music out to YouTube and having a YouTube channel where people can possibly discover them. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't work, but I think it's important. And I think that kind of thing is something that I'm trying to do more of, and Stevie B and I did an episode a few weeks ago about having a checklist. I'm getting ready to put that out as one of my free things offered from my channel is the checklist. And yeah, it's just there's so much to do, but I think distribution is a really important part and thing that we should do here. YouTube, Arco says YouTube is great for getting discovered, but it sucks in paying you. Well, yeah, if it and in order to be paid, there's a lot of hoops you have to go through, and this isn't a video about YouTube, and this is even part of distribution. Just with this channel alone, it took me 8 or 9 months to monetize it and get lots of videos, and yeah, it just takes a lot to get any income from YouTube, unless you're talking about Content ID, which is a whole nother thing. Hipsa says now YouTube has a whole other music YouTube as well. Is this better for someone who writes and releases their own songs? Well, it's always had it. It's called YouTube Music, or one time I think it was called YouTube Red, maybe. I can't remember, but your music goes to YouTube just like it goes to Spotify or Apple if you distribute with DistroKid or any of those places. YouTube Music is a way most people listen to. I mean, a lot of people. It's probably the third most used, maybe Amazon now is, but it's up there with the places where people listen to music, and they just watch the album cover and listen to the music, and that's all they're doing. So okay, I posted a question in the chat. Where is your question? How can you make money on Fiverr sound better? How do I get some views on my profile? You know, that is a whole nother thing. I think I'm going to talk about that a little bit here next. And yeah, I'll talk about that. Let's just kind of use that as a way to kind of move in to the next section. And that next section is, where is it? Did I not make one for that? Well, that next section is, I didn't make a title for this. So that next section is production. And I think production is an important one. I think that we're going to talk about performing live here in a minute, but yeah, I think production is just as important as anything, and production can be a service that you provide to people. And just going to rip up a little thing here. And I think it's something that a lot of you who have DAWs and stuff like that at home are not taking full advantage of. And you should be, because I think production is one of those things that I think that people need to be focused on as people who are making stock music or making sync music. Listen, production has been the way I have made most of my living for the past 20 years. And this stock stuff and sync stuff and all that stuff is all coming afterwards, after having a life as a producer. Producing others is a way you can go on Fiverr, and you can go on, what's the other one I like to use? You can go on Upwork, and you can put your services up there as a producer, as an arranger, as a beat maker, and helping people make music that they need made, music for their podcast, music for beats that they can sing to or rap over. So I absolutely think that production is one of the things that we've got to think about. Producing others. I don't mean just producing music and putting it out there. I mean producing music for clients. And those are the kind of things you're talking about, Arco, on Fiverr, is putting your services out there and available for people to use and people to be part of. And I think that's important. And I think it's something that you can consult people with on production. All you have to do is show them the music that you've been creating for sync and for stock, and really just show them what you're doing. And you will have clients that want you to do what you're doing for them, because they are not producers. They do not have DAWs. And so also the marketing part of that, where you can help them do marketing things that you're already doing, YouTube channels and websites and social media and videos and all that kind of stuff. So all that kind of stuff, you can be marketing those kind of services on Fiverr. and on other services on your website and alongside of your sync and your stock, all that kind of stuff. We've got to be doing all these things. And that's why I think you're missing an important thing if you are not producing others and bringing that as an income stream, because I'm telling you, that is how I have made a living in this and been making some income. So let me catch up to the chat here. Soto says, hello to everyone. News on content ID income. My news is that it's been going up for me. It started at about $9, but then every month after that, it's been about anywhere from $40 to $80, and then this month it's at 70. So it's at its most per month. And when I say this month, I mean June, which is the last one we heard about. But I will take it, and it all mainly comes from one video that's getting hundreds of or almost hundreds of thousands of views, literally almost at 1 million. Hypnosis Fiverr is spelt with 2 R's. If you go to Fiverr with 2Rs.com, you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's see who else has a question here. It would be good if talking about working directly with clients and getting discovered. I think this would be good content. Tell me what you mean. You mean about working on production with clients, and how do you get discovered as a producer? Is that what you're talking about? If so, then basically you just need to build a website about you as a producer and put that up online and get people to it by handing out business cards. You start local, then you move regionally. And I have a whole production video about that. I'll put it right up here when I get to edit this video, and you can find out more about the producing video that I put out about 2 Mondays ago. I put out a video 3 Mondays ago. I put out a video about how I built a 6-figure production business, and I lay it all out there, Arco. So if you haven't watched that one, check that out. Catalan in the house. You get video views just like you get visitors. Yeah. Catalan is saying you get views like you would get visitors on your website, Google, SEO, all that kind of stuff. I assume you mean to a producer's site and getting discovered. That's what happened to me. I got in the top of the SEO and Google when you search for a certain kind of producer, and that's how I got a lot of work for a very long time. Arco says YouTube Music is interactive streaming service. Learned from Eric. Yeah, it's YouTube Music is just, it has its own version of, you can just go on there and listen to music, and they have these, every time you put something up, they put it on YouTube as what they call on a topic channel under your artist name, and it's just the cover and your music. So yeah, they put music out like that. Any other things about production? Cal says, I would go to the higher end where the money is. Fiverr and other freelance websites mean you just scrape the bottom. I'm not so sure about that. I mean, if you check out a site called Upwork, which is spelled just like it sounds, they have a much higher quality of client. I mean, you still get different people around the world with different quality levels, but production-wise, I've been using that and I've done a lot of work on Upwork before when I needed some extra gigs. Myself available, answered people who needed production, and did that work. So yeah, certainly something that everyone should be kind of. So now let's move on and start to move through this hour here with our next thing. And the next thing I want to talk about is something that probably everyone has done at some point, or you've thought about it, but this is something that's kind of died down during the COVID age, and that is performing live. I mean, there's lots of income, and it's income that you get that day. It's not income you have to wait for. It doesn't come next month on the 15th. It doesn't come 6 months or 9 months down the line from your PRO. It comes the day you perform. You do a gig, you get paid for the gig. You sell merch like t-shirts and other things, maybe even CDs, depending on where in the world you live. And you grow your audience in real time and get paid for the gig, and you go home with money in your hand. So I think this is a forgotten income stream. It's an important one that if you are a person who at all loves to perform, at all love to get out there, that you find those local places where you can go and you can perform, because I think it's an important thing to be able to do. And I know a lot of people have trouble with this, but I just think it's an important income stream you're missing if you at all love to perform or like to perform, or maybe it's something you can develop into. It's another stream of income while you're doing all the stock stuff, while you're doing all this other stuff that you do. Get out there, and also if you do have your stuff on Spotify and the DSPs and the Apple and YouTube and all the things, that's only another way to get people going to those places, because you're doing a gig in front of them and you're saying, hey, go here and listen if you want to hear more music. And so it's a great way. It's the long tail thing where you're growing your whole music audience just because you are also singing in front of them, and they may see you and then a week later, a day later, say, wow, I remember seeing this guy and it was awesome and I need to go find him on Spotify. It is a long tail. People will find you and stay with you for a long time. I'll do a video on the long tail kind of theory sometime, but I think it's an important one to remember and think about. But performing live is one of those important things that you may have forgotten about. Anybody in the chat talking about stuff? Hypnosis says, hey, ISO. Hey, ISO, so good to see you. Hypnosis says, where's a good place to get some decent footage for music besides Pexels and Pixabay and all the regulars? And I just pay for Envato Elements, to be honest with you. I used to pay for, I've gotten stuff from 123rf.com when I used to get royalty-free art. I've gotten stuff from other stock music sites, Storyblocks, but I find that Envato is the best quality for the best price monthly. But as far as free, video footage, Pexels and Pixabay are the ones I know about. There might be some others. I don't see anybody else mention any, but certainly you want to go to Unsplash if you're looking for just pictures that you can use royalty-free. That's a good place. And what else is a place that I use all the time? Well, again, since I pay for Envato Elements, I usually go there to get videos, I'll get pictures, I'll get sound effects and things like that from Envato Elements. But Unsplash is a good place. Video Blocks is a place that I've gotten video from. It's not free. But yeah, a Videezy, Videezy is another video place that's free. Videvo, there's quite a few. So yeah, Pixabay and Pexels, I have those, but I don't use the free sites again because I pay for a monthly fee for Envato Elements, so I just use that. So all right, yeah. Hypnosis says, my brother bought a DSLR camera and is planning on doing some live jams online. Will this help him his cause to further his brand and all that? Absolutely. I mean, I think online performing, you could even do online lives. That's something that's really really something that people have been doing through the time that we've been on this break through COVID, and people have been doing a lot of live events online. And so I think it's a great idea, and I think more people should do it. ISO says, well said, Eric. I've been busking electric guitar since May 8th this year. I was averaging, look at this. I was averaging $2,000 a month, Isomatic says, in monthly income by busking with his electric guitar. I'm telling you, folks, we are forgetting about performing live. If we don't perform live, if we don't use the talents that God gave us to get out in front of people and do stuff, we've gotten so used to sitting in front of our computers and doing stuff and trying to make passive income that we've become very passive. And we need to get out there and we need to perform and get people throwing money at us, because they will do that. They always have, and they probably always will. Let's see. Anything else in the chat here? Mixed Club says, I had a friend in the day that was into busking from England. He said he did okay. Yeah, that's an honorable, long time performing type of thing. So yeah, it's something that we need to think about. And while we are not locked down, while we are back free again, it's time to get out and do that. I mean, I think everyone should be trying it. Yes, I think everyone should try it. And you do make lots of connections, lots of friends, and lots of fans. And we all know that fans are an important thing. All right, well, let's get to the last thing I want to talk about today, and that is online presence. And this kind of goes back to YouTube a little bit, but mainly talking about socials. And Stevie B and I have um, a nice video coming up about short video. We both put out a YouTube short today, and I'll also be putting it on my TikTok and my Instagram Reels. So I don't know if anybody saw that today, but kind of did a little bit, I don't know, a short for this video, but silly thing. But I hope you enjoyed it if you saw it. But what do we do with online? I mean, this is something that I've been doing for my clients for, I don't know, 20 years. I've been helping them build their MySpace channels, their Facebook channels, their Instagram channels, their TikTok channels, their YouTube channels, all these things through the years. I've been helping them develop things, and all of them have used them to some great or some zero effect. But it just depends where your audience is and what kind of person you are if you're going to do this. This very much falls into the performing live type aspect of things. Are you someone who can perform on socials? And are you someone who can really get out there on socials and find a following on Instagram, find a following on TikTok, find a following on, get to your friends and family and people on Facebook, get to professional type of people on LinkedIn. These are important things. And of course, YouTube. Build a YouTube channel. I think people that are doing music tend to think of YouTube as a place to put your music so that people will go listen to your music and make these videos that people are listening to your music. I'm not so sure, unless they're going to YouTube Music to only listen to music, that's where they're going to go to listen to music, unless they want to watch a lyric video of what you've just done. But I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about that. As you'll see in the video that when I'm talking with Steve about short media, I don't mind doing it. I like doing it, and it's to watch how many hits and things like that get. But if they shorts on YouTube are not monetized, so I can't monetize shorts. And monetization is something that I'm also going to be talking about soon on this channel. I might change the way that I monetize this channel instead of YouTube's way, where they throw ads at you. And hopefully you shouldn't be seeing any ads right now because I have ads off right now during the live. But tell me if you are, because that means YouTube is putting them in. I'm not putting them in. But I might consider going to an ad-free channel like Jesse does, just in order to and ask for support in another way, a nonprofit way that I have as well. But getting back to social media, I think it is something that you can use for building your following. Now, whether Instagram Reels and TikTok can get people to where you want them to go, whether if you want them to go to Spotify to listen, I mean, besides doing marketing, because you can do marketing on TikTok, you can do marketing on Facebook, you can do marketing on Instagram, and do ads where people listen to a little bit of your song, and that might push them to go to Spotify. But if you're thinking that you're going to make money with TikTok and Instagram and even YouTube shorts, you need to watch our video on Monday, because Steve and I are going to kind of rip the Band-Aid off of that a little bit and talk about what we think about our thoughts about short vertical videos and media and social media in general. It can be a black hole that you get lost in. So something that you should look at, and but I think also having a really quality website, and this is where we were talking earlier about being a producer of others, but a quality website. If you go to makemusicincome.com, I've worked hard on that site to make that a really functional site that helps when people need things or want to find out more about me and about the company. I had it on my production site, and at one time I was getting, at the height of that thing, I was getting 20, 30,000 visits a year, where people were coming and searching for me on Google and finding me. I've since kind of pushed away from being a producer as much. I still am a lot for at least 15 clients or so, but I'm really trying to push more towards being a composer and educator instead. But even those things, being a composer, and being an educator, I have to have online presence. I have to have an Instagram site. I have to have a website. I have to have these things that if I'm getting ready to send a score to a classical music thing to be considered in this classical music competition. They're going to want to look at my composer site and find out more about me as a composer. Um, any brand that you are, if you want to be a producer, if you want to go out and perform live, you've got to have a quality website of yourself. You can't just have an Instagram. I know that the younger 20 somethings, 30 somethings think that all you need is Instagram and that is enough. And professionally speaking, it is not enough. Any company that is worth its weight in professional gold has a professional website, and you should too. All right. So that's really most of what I wanted to talk about. Those are the important things that I think we are missing. And now let me just really get some stuff from the chat as we start to wrap this hour up here and see what people are saying. Boy, it's been busy in the chat here. Hypnosis says, you keep on, man, keep on doing that, Isomatic, and keep on doing that. Yeah, dude, if you're making $2,000 a month, you need to be out there because people are liking what you're doing. Arco says, this is what record labels look for. I agree, but record labels look for all the things. That's another reason why I'm doing this, about the important things you need and that to be doing that you might be missing. Because record labels certainly don't care about stock music. Record labels might care about sync licensing and if you're getting syncs and things like that. Record labels care if you're doing gigs and how many people you're doing gigs to and how much you're selling and how much, all that kind of stuff. Record labels care about all the things that I've been talking about here. They care about your online presence, with your followers on all these social medias and your website, that it looks pro. They care about the fact that you already have been doing distribution and getting your stuff out to Spotify and Apple Music and all these places. They care about that you are savvy enough to have the publishing thing going on. Now, they might get involved in all of those things, but they're much more likely to work with you if they see that you have all that stuff lined up. So that's a good point, Arco. And they do look for all of these things. So it's kind of my whole point here, moving past stock and sync or alongside them and doing all these other things. Gnosis says, are record labels even relevant these days? Their crooked ways have been made public. If they weren't stock market types, they would have gone to prison. Well, okay, let's just calm down a little bit on that. I'll do. If you again watch my publishing video, you'll see a nice guy named Trevor who works at Curb Entertainment in Nashville, and they are certainly not like that. They are business people who are doing business deals. I think labels have moved past the point. I'll be honestly say that they are no longer really just looking for artists to that on your own. And then they are able to help you from a distribution level, from mainly for distribution and for management and things like that. But I think, yeah, the deals that used to exist are all different, and a lot of that, those 360 deals and stuff happened in the time of between CDs and streaming, when CDs started to die and the only way to get music was downloads, and it was a hard time for the music business. They had to really they had to let artists go. They had to sign artist deals that were kind of crazy. So but again, I think if you are doing all these things I talked about, the publishing and the distribution and producing others, performing live, you're growing your online presence, and just taking care of all of these things professionally, I think that's going to make a big difference with the labels. And they're going to, if you have something going on and they see it, then they might be interested. However, all of these things, you've really got to polish up yourself before you get involved with labels for sure. Hypnosis says, this is my first time here. I don't know why you came up with my algorithm, Eric. Well, Hypnosis, I'm glad that you found us, and I hope you will subscribe and hang in. We do these every week on Friday, and yeah, we we talk about all this kind of stuff. I don't just talk about I'm not a one-trick pony. I'm involved with stock. I love sync licensing, and that's something I focus on. But I also talk about producing. I talk about publishing. I talk about making music income in a variety of ways, being a music teacher. I'm a music educator and teacher and all that kind of stuff. Hypnosis says, generally speaking, I don't even know about record execs and companies. Well, you weren't wrong. I mean, it's not that that there haven't been crooked deals, but that's like saying that, every person who does anything, that you can't just shade everyone by one bad example that you've heard about or several bad examples. But yeah, nobody needs to get ripped off for sure. Well, Hypnosis, I'm glad you've learned some things. Everybody else, I'm glad you've learned some things here. Let me see if I got anything else to say. What are you missing? What are the things you're missing? If you're here, leave a comment. What important things that you're missing? I'd love to find out in the comments below. I hope this has been helpful. Any of these things: publishing, distribution, or producing others, performing live, growing your online presence, any of these things that might be better for you. Let us know in the comments what is good for you, what you need to be working on, and let's talk about it, because that's the kind of thing that we talk about here. And if you're not part of this channel, make sure you subscribe. Would love to have you be part of things. And thanks for being here again on a Friday. Thanks to Arco, everybody, Brett, Hypnosis, thanks for being here. Sotos ask, can I ask after submitting your tracks to identify how long it took to see any results on the dashboard? It was probably 2 or 3 months. They're usually 2 or 3 months behind, and so it probably took 2 or 3 months before we saw our first thing. So be patient there. It is like I said, it's like PROs, and PROs are famously, I mean, it's 9 months before you see something from BMI if something is played on television or radio or something. Hypnosis, peace out. Thanks for being here. Arco says, social presence is what I'm missing. Soda says, thank you, Eric. Hey, my pleasure. Thank you for being here in the chat and being online today. Everybody, thanks for being here. Mix Club, focus. I need to get better with this. Getting old is killing my brain. Yeah, getting old, it just stinks. But hey, it is what it is. Jonathan, thanks for being here. Everybody, thanks for just hanging out with me today. As usual, hopefully this stream has been helpful and not too buggy, and we'll continue to try to get it. Yeah, Arco, see you Tuesday. Remember, everybody, Tuesday in Hello Composers. Come and see me. Come hang out at hellocomposers.com. You can find that link also below in the description. And come talk to us about composition. We won't be talking about money stuff in that. We will be talking about stuff that we need to be compositionally thinking about, and just sharing ideas on just sharing ideas on composition. So we'll be doing that starting Tuesday. Actually, I'll have a video out on Hell Composers this weekend. Probably won't be premiering it since we were kind of live for that. But yeah, we'll be going live on Tuesday as far as I can get my internet working here consistently. And everybody, thanks for being here. Signature, thanks for being here today. Everybody, thanks for being part of the stream today. Make sure you go to get some free stuff. If you are new to the channel, make sure you are going and getting some of our stuff at makemusicincome.com/free and .com/stock market, and seeing everything that we have to offer there. So happy that everybody has been here. Thank you so much. End the stream now and move on with my day. Lots of other people to talk to online today. So everybody have a cool weekend, as Hypnosis says, and thanks so much for being here. And I'm just going to wave goodbye. Everybody wave your hands. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. See you later. Thanks for being here. It's taking an abnormally long time to end the stream, so this is getting uncomfortable. Oh, okay. Bye-bye. See everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.